Hi everybody, happy end of summer. Doing this video just to answer some of the questions that I know will come up in class and to give you some of the oral Torah on how Hebrew 3 is going to work so that we have more time on our first class to engage with the lovely and juicy Psalm 27. So as you'll see from the syllabus, the class is broken into two units. The first is takes us through the Chagim, and we're going to be engaging with texts having to do with the Chagim. On Tuesdays, we'll be looking at Hilchot Tshuva from Mishneh Torah. The language in there will be familiar both from our prior studies of Mishneh Torah and because it has so much language from the Machzor, and the texts are quite juicy, so I think they'll be fun. On Thursdays, we'll be looking at text from the liturgy for the Chagim. Most of it is the Zichronot and Shofarot sections from the Musaf for Rosh Hashanah, because those are such iconic and wonderful Rosh Hashanah texts. After the Chagim, we will shift our focus to looking at Rashi, which is not only great kind of normative Jewish Hebrew, but is a good stepping stone for Parshanut. And on those days, we'll be looking at snippets from the Parsha with comments by Rashi. And then on Thursdays, we'll be exploring texts from the Shabbat morning liturgy. We'll start with the Aleinu, then do Nishmat Kol Chai, and then the last text will be up to you guys to decide. In terms of what I expect you to do out of class and in class, it's pretty similar to Hebrew 2. Out of class, I expect you to be working with your Chavruta, and doing whatever work you need in dictionaries and grammars to understand the Hebrew of the text, using translation as a way to understand and check your understanding, and again, working even further toward using translation as a tool for dwelling in the Hebrew. You will hand in your translations the morning of class, that just so I can see what was easy for folks, where you had trouble, and see how far everybody got. In class, we'll begin with any highlights left over from the prior week's material. So things that we didn't get to in class, but when I was reviewing what you handed in, were things worth looking at, translating, etc. Then we'll move into the new material. Going around, you'll read, you'll translate, we'll discuss translations, any issues that come up, and also some attention to meaning making with the text. As I said, Tuesdays and Thursdays will be different material. There are no dedicated grammar days in Hebrew 3, but we will look at issues as they arise or other issues that are common and we didn't get to last year on our liturgy days. There are quizzes, 5 quizzes sprinkled through the semester, same thing as last year. You'll take them at home. We'll go over them in class. That'll be familiar. One of the changes I'm making is that you aren't going to be handing in declamation recordings. I didn't think that was a very successful pedagogical strategy. Because we've broken the group into 2 sections, you will have more chance to declaim in class, so we won't need to use those recordings. One other difference is that we start in earnest working on decoding unpointed texts, and in class we'll talk about different strategies for folks at different comfort levels with that. But we'll be doing some of that in class. One of the challenges is that because decoding unpointed text takes a fair bit of trial and error and attention to detail, it can be hard to do a lot of it in a group because of the pace of that. So we'll be doing some of it in class, but I'll also be meeting with each of you individually or in Chavruta twice during the semester, just so that we can really focus on decoding and declamation of unpointed texts at whatever pace you're going at. The last thing I want to mention is the first class. So we're going to use the first class just to kind of warm up, hopefully remind you how fun Hebrew is and what a rich and beautiful language it is and how much you get out of reading texts in Hebrew. We'll be looking at Psalm 27, the Psalm for Elul, and I wanted to strike the balance of not giving you full-on homework for the first day of class, but also giving you, making sure that we're all coming in kind of with some familiarity with the text. So what I'm asking you to do is spend an hour, ideally in Chavruta, but if that doesn't work, you can do it on your own, with Psalm 27. Start out by reading it in Hebrew, getting as much as you can, and then rather than using resources, dictionaries, etc., use a translation to help you understand the parts of the text that you weren't getting in Hebrew. Then go back to the Hebrew and do particularly two things. One, note, jot down, underline, whatever, places where the Hebrew is really making a difference for you, that it's particularly powerful, that it is, the sound is moving you, an image is really resonant, because those are the ones we'll focus on in class. And also to think about, one of the oddities of Psalm 27 is that the first half is really different from the second half. So spend some time thinking about how that radical shift of tone in the beginning affects the overall meaning of the poem, and especially how it makes sense for you in the Chagim. So again, I'm so looking forward to continuing our Hebrew journey together. Last thing, if you are, have a lot of zerizut, a lot of zealousness, and are going to download all the materials on August 12th, the day the course opens, know that I am going to be uploading PDFs of the texts from the Kol HaNeshama series. So you'll also have those in hard copy because I've asked you to buy those. But I will be uploading the PDFs before the semester starts. Okay, enjoy your last gasps of summer. I'll see you at the immersive.